What's happening? What's good, dough? It's your boy Idriff, and today we have another amazing episode with Kyle and Courtney from Little Dynamite Pizza. These two are the partners that we need to hear from. They have an amazing story on how they went from brick and mortar to brick and mortar in the most unconventional but practical way. First, we get into the conversation by seeing how they met. And even though this was kind of awkward because it was like, so how did you two meet? So once we get through that awkwardness, we really do get into like how sourdough pizza can be done on a commercial level and successfully. Obviously, this is Little Dynamite's workflow, but I'm hoping that you can get some inspiration on how you can apply it to yours. And then we talk about Little Dynamite's story, transitioning from Bootleg, going from brick and mortar to brick and mortar, and Kyle and Courtney just give some really practical advice. And if you don't want to listen to the end, I will give it to you right now. Be patient, because the best deals come when you're patient. They say in real estate, you make your money when you buy the property, right? And by that, they mean that if you get a good deal, you've made some money. Well, the way I relate to that in business is that when you find a sweet ass place to operate pizza, you're set up for success, baby. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember to always ask, what's good, dough?
Cool.
How you doing?
We're happy to be here.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Cool. So how did you two meet? Just out of curiosity. Let's get into that.
Go ahead.
You can go. I like listening.
I peeped her on Instagram.
Yeah. So literal DMs.
There you go.
Yeah, slid in the DMs.
And then we hung out, and then ever since we were just like every day hanging out together.
Clicked.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, it works.
And that is the personal relationship.
Yes.
How about business relationship?
Personal came first, and then I started helping out at Bootleg.
Very shortly after.
Yeah, just because I was like, oh, I'll come hang out. I'm bored. And he was stuck at the shop that he was at. And so I just started.
This was in that in the period between when we were transitioning.
Yeah.
And Bootleg is, for people who don't know, your first restaurant.
The original one.
Yeah.
The original. Was that your first restaurant, though?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the original pizza place. And so you two were working together right before you transitioned into Little Dynamite.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then basically I was just helping out at the shop, and then we came over here, and my previous job was moving to Philly, and I didn't have a job. And so I was like, my parents are business owners. I was like, let's just do it, like, and see what happens. It could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
But it didn't.
But it's opposite.
So chill about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it is chill.
It was a risky choice, but it works. It works.
Did you just, that's cool. For starters, right? The fact that it works. But
Yeah.
did you just ask Courtney, like, hey, do you want to work?
Well, she knew I kind of like needed help.
What did you have her do?
In the business?
Yeah.
She does everything I don't do.
Oh.
Which is, I really just do food stuff, and she does,
Everything else.
yeah, plus some food stuff.
Yeah. He's creative. I'm business and starter.
Cool.
So,
Well,
I used to be the
Balanced.
sourdough boy, but I kind of passed the torch on.
to the sourdough whisperer.
Yeah.
Okay. So talk to me about this, like, sourdough, right? Like, I feel like you've talked about it on Hot Tongue a bit, but to do it on a commercial level, I want to just really nail down the fact that, like, that is hard. Is it?
yes.
It's it gets easier, but you just have to figure it out.
It's like a learning curve.
Totally.
What was the hardest part in starting with sourdough?
Getting it to work. Yeah. At first it didn't work, and it got fucked up. I couldn't figure out how it was supposed to get fed. I didn't know anything about it when I started doing it. I was just like, I'll see if I can make sourdough pizza. So just figuring it out was the hardest thing.
Trial and error.
Trial and error, yeah.
Yeah. When you did it, though, when you said it wasn't working, were you already in the business of pizza?
No, but I was like aiming for it, you know. I started as a pop-up
Okay.
initially. So I was just like figuring out how to make it at first. And then I was like, kind of like, I'm going to sell this. But, you know, there was no stakes. So it wasn't like failing for anybody.
Yeah.
It just wasn't, I knew what I was going for, and it definitely wasn't the original, the first, you know, few hundred pizzas probably.
My first sourdough pizza, I made it, and I don't know where I got the inspiration from. Probably Dan Richer. I was interviewing him. This was back in 2021, and he just said, "Just do it." And I was like, "Okay."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made a sourdough pizza. I'm pretty sure it was like the most vinegary dense pizza I've ever had.
Right. There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. And so I guess when bringing on like Courtney and other people on your team, how do you teach people sourdough?
Basically, well, I would say my main thing is telling people it's got to be exact. Like, you can't be like, 350 grams. Well, 365 is close enough. Like, you have to, like, you got to pay attention to detail.
Did you listen to Kyle when...
Oh, they do more than I do.
Yeah. I'm like,
For
Kyle,
real.
I feel you on that.
Kyle watches me do it now, and like I've now adapted my own routine for the starter. And there's specific smells I look for.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about the smells.
Okay,
Bananas.
so ours smells
The
like
what?
bananas.
Bananas?
Yes, it has a like hint of banana.
It's fruity.
Yes. And so I know when something's wrong with it, because if I come in and I open and smell it and it doesn't smell like bananas, I'm like, all right, like gotta go into doctor mode.
Somebody fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why also now, I guess, like going off of what you were saying, we had employees like working with the starter, and because being exact is so important, we had to just kind of dial it down to me and our manager.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Is like,
The less hands in it, the better.
not everybody is going to be somebody who's going to be feeding the starter.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why, like, I could do it,
Right.
but like I just don't, because it's better. There's less room for error if it's just her and our dough guy Ken. So that's kind of how we keep it.
With just two people managing that sourdough, and we're talking about just the starter here, right? Keeping it like alive and prime and ready to use. With just two people managing it, does it make it harder to run a business when only two people know like the keys to the castle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's like, it's not really sourdough that's keeping it that way, because it would be that way anyway. Like, I would still like have a few key people that I would be trusting to make the dough, whether it was or wasn't naturally leavened. So, you know, it just kind of is what it is. There's always going to be our little secret keys, you know?
Gotcha.
Also, always have a backup starter.
Oh, of course.
Are you keeping your backup? How are you keeping your backup? Like dried, frozen?
Just in the fridge.
It
next
just
to
sits.
our
It just doesn't get
starter.
fed as much, but
Yeah.
it's just there in case something were to go horribly wrong with the main one.
Do you have two sets of keys for that? Like one here at the restaurant and then one at the
I
house?
have one at home that one
You
is
probably
like,
need to get a new.
yeah, it
you
should
know.
Make a
it should get
baby.
it should get re-upped, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
Oh man, you gotta. Do you call your dealer for that? Or you
Yeah,
just
right.
No,
We're,
got a
we're
guy.
the starter
You got the guy.
dealers. That's us.
All right, so we have the sourdough maintenance, which again, this is why I say it's so freaking difficult for business owners, because
Oh my god.
it has its own complications.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to like nail it with everything else too, or else you get vinegary bricks.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So what are you doing to not get that?
Trial and error a lot, but the starter that we have now has been continuously doing its thing since I started it in 2018. So I think having a strong one helps. I don't know if when you did your vinegary brick, if it was like a fresh, like, did you like get like a?
To be fair, that was like this was like 3 years ago, and I just had no idea like that temperature mattered, that timing
Right.
mattered.
Yeah.
Right.
It was kind of just like, okay, I think it doubled in size, put it in, and let's
Yeah.
make magic happen.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that could work if you like. I
You
think.
get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you have a good starter, like just getting it to the point where it's healthy and you maintain it, then it'll work every time. You know, hopefully.
It'll work every time, hopefully.
Yeah, like it works.
like not like you could say that as a home person, right? A home
Yeah.
pizza maker, but
Yeah.
when you're running a business, hopefully it doesn't cut it.
Right.
So-
But they're... Go ahead.
So, because Kyle doesn't like, I've been doing starter, and then we have our manager doing a lot of the dough. Like, it's incredibly important to have like a schedule out for like, okay, I'm going to feed the starter. 2 hours from now, I'm setting a phone alarm. Like, feed it again, put it by the oven if it's cold. All of those little adjustments are so important. We haven't been able to phase ourselves out of the shop yet to eventually, hopefully, expand.
Yeah.
And so that is something that's a problem we're going to have to find a solution for, is finding or training one of our staff to like be up who can be feeding that starter early and getting it prepped for dough, because that's
Yeah.
my thing right now.
Making the hopefully part smaller.
Yes.
It's really very
Hopefully
small.
Eliminating it.
Yeah.
But the plan is to eventually phase yourselves out and like,
So we can go start up another one,
Yeah.
you know?
no, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Walk me through, can you give me like a practical schedule, like 9 a.m. this?
Oh,
totally.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you want to do
Run
it?
me through it.
Or do you want me to do it?
Well, you know it better than me at this
Okay.
point.
So, me and him wake up and then get ready real quick, head to the shop. And the first thing we'll do is pull the starter from the fridge.
What time is this?
This is about 7:30.
A.m.? My gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, which is why I was like, it's going to be hard to phase ourselves out. So 7:30.
You might need a morning person, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. So pull the starter from the fridge. I usually let it sit out for like 30 minutes, just to come to temp a little bit. And then we'll do the first feed. First feed, I don't measure the temperature. So we're not like that.
Super precise. but-
Yeah. So I really use as hot of water as possible. And I'll mix the flour first with the water.
Okay.
And then I add that mixture to the starter. And then 2 hours later, do it again.
2 hours later, do what again?
We'll feed the starter again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So you're
and
feeding
then-
it twice.
Yeah. So, and then we just have to keep on feeding it until we have enough for our dough.
Oh, so you're trying to double the starter.
we double the starter every time.
Every
we
time
feed
it gets fed,
Yeah.
it's now double the weight that it was.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then we'll split it off, and then it'll be one big Cambro starter and one little one, and we start all over.
Oh,
every day.
okay. So you're making this like big old container starter, and then you just take a little bit for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So you have this big old Cambro starter.
Yes.
It's like half flour, half water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pretty
Exactly.
warm.
Yeah.
Pretty warm at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you take that big old Cambro, and then you dump it in your maiden dough.
Not yet. We'll throw it into the fridge once it's done getting fed.
Cool it down.
Cool it down.
All right.
So it's active, but now it's cold.
Yeah.
It's just a little secret, a little trick.
Yeah.
No, because if it's
It
too hot,
it really helps.
Yeah.
helps with what? Like
Just
slow it down,
the
or
final product.
flavor too. I'm assuming.
Yeah, because ultimately, yeah, because it'll be less sour because it's not so far
Well,
gone,
yeah.
basically.
Oh yeah. You're trying to like keep
You're
it.
kind
at
of
its-
hitting pause on it
kind of hitting pause on
and
it. I
cooling
like
it
that.
down,
Yeah.
Okay.
which
cool.
is, yeah.
That's a great tip. So you put it in the fridge for
About 2 hours.
2 hours.
Ideally, sometimes
be in there a
things
little
happen.
longer.
It can be
Yeah.
in there a little longer, sometimes a little
shorter.
shorter.
Okay.
Just kind of doing our best for, the situation in the day.
Every
'Cause
day is
every day
different.
is different. Like,
So I guess you're making more starter or less starter on a Friday. More starter on a Friday than on Monday.
No, not really. It's
Not really.
it's always the same.
yeah.
It's more so just how we're gonna use it that day.
Yeah.
Oh.
And when
when
time
we're
the
gonna
dough
use it.
is going to get made.
Okay. And what are you basing that off of? Like how much dough you have left in the fridge, or
No, more so things like weather. And like if Ken's gonna make dough late at night.
Ken's your manager?
Yes. It can be kind of warmer starter because we're gonna use it sooner. Like we're gonna be in there balling it up at like 7:30.
Yeah.
So it can go faster. But if he's making it say at 11 a.m., it's better for it to be cold because we need it to be chill for longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure. So you're basically, depending on when it's time to make dough, you're adjusting the temperature up or down, and then you're taking a Cambro. Is that like 8 liters?
It's 22.
22.
Oh,
So
that's
22
It's the
quart.
big boy.
Yeah,
It's a big boy.
one.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're not messing around. That's a lot of.
It's a lot.
It's like,
Our-
I'd say over 12,000 grams of starters. So
Okay.
Our batch of dough is a pretty
big-
good percentage of starter.
Okay, like what?
Like
Percentage.
honestly, like I think it's about a third of the dough is starter.
A third of the dough is starter. Huh, is that exact? Because I'm like looking to you to like get me a better pan pizza, but also
No, it's not exact.
Okay.
But there's a good amount of,
I would
Right
say a
around that.
third is pretty accurate. Yeah.
pretty,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
ballpark, very close.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
and it's not like
Sometimes I
it's the
do
starter's
20%.
under control because it's
Yeah, yeah,
50% flour and water, so
Okay.
it's never like crazy like some of these starters you see that are like liquid and just all bubbles. It's like closer to a dough already.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
How did you land on a third starter?
Um,
Trial and error?
honestly, yeah, trial and error. Like I had, I just kind of tweaked stuff. Like I riffed on. I don't know if you know any of East Coast shops, but there's a guy in Philly, Dan Gutter, Pizza Gut. He at one point, shout out to Dan, posted his recipe. He also makes 10 by 10 squares, and he posted his recipe that wasn't sourdough, but was pizza dough. And I was just curious. This was when I was starting out, and I just kind of like, honestly, I looked at his recipe and then looked up like how you take a standard pizza dough recipe and like
Scale it.
turn it into a sourdough recipe.
Oh, got you.
And then I just took that and kind of went from there. That honestly didn't really work, but that was like the seed.
Gotcha.
And from there, I kind of just tweaked it until it is what it is now.
And I'm curious to know then, I guess more so like 30% versus 25 versus 35. Is that too close of a comparison to ask like what it does for flavor or even and rise? Too loaded question, but yeah. More or less starter, how does it affect rise and flavor?
Oh, more starter, more rise, more flavor.
Really?
Yeah, totally.
Really?
It'll be way more sour the more you add.
Okay.
You'll get more rise, maybe to the point where it'll be too much, where the dough is just, we call it blowing out. Where It's like kind of just like exploding almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think for me personally, I'm not using enough sourdough starter.
Probably.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of, we use kind of
lot.
what a lot of people would think is probably like a crazy amount.
Yeah.
I've gone 10 to 20%.
Yeah. I mean, some recipes are even less than that. So,
But I haven't gotten like the fluff that you guys get.
Okay.
And so like when I'm always like drooling over your pizzas, I'm like, damn, that shit was good. But so it's 30%. Maybe that's the magic number.
right around there.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you
But
also,
Yeah.
like you said, you have to manage that or else it could get, the more you add,
Right.
the more sour.
And that's,
yeah,
with a starter that's 50% flour already. So
Yeah.
it's thick.
it's thick.
Yeah.
With a 10 by 10 square, what are we talking about in terms of thickness and dough ball weight?
It's like I would say 1.5, like 1.5 inches. What are you thinking?
Thickness?
Yeah.
Once it's cooked?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like an inch and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, that's thick.
That-
And
yeah.
then weight for a 10 by
Dough ball?
Yeah.
Like 575 grams
Okay,
ish.
that's not too bad at all.
I guess. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
575. I think for my 9-inch yeasted, I do like 400, but it goes super high.
Right.
Par bake or no?
Par baked.
See, that's where I like to flex. No par bake.
Tell me more.
We're mad people.
But you have the dose to support that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We just do it that way.
I like that way. Yeah, because it all blends together a little bit
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like it that way.
You get more of a deep dish vibe that way too.
Deep dish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you have that nice. We put our cheese on before the sauce, so you have that like nice layer.
That
of
makes the
cheese
barrier.
That's
Yeah.
making this
It's all
barrier.
cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Does it not I'm guessing because of the weight of the dough, does it not like sink in?
No.
No.
No. I mean, the dough's pretty strong. No, it really doesn't sink in.
Do you ever get like...
You got to be careful with it, of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
Do you ever get it like to where it's like rising and then like it's kind of like not lumpy, but it forms to the toppings and then the edges rise up a little bit higher? You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not happening with your guys' pizza? It's pretty even.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the thing like we struggle the most with is like we use a lot of toppings on our pizzas, and which obviously affects bake and bake time and all of that. But it's kind of one of those things where if you're using a bunch of vegetables and you're having all of that excess water like on top of the dough, that can affect the bake of it, but it never really like goes around the toppings or anything. Just more of a wet,
Right.
pie, which
Just gotta
we
be
don't.
careful.
Yeah.
But also because you're doing a direct bake, you're blasting that thing for much longer. So
Yeah.
It's about a 20-minute.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yes.
Wow.
Depending. Like she was saying, like the wetter ones take way longer.
Yeah, like the mom.
A white pie will
Yeah.
cook in like 10 minutes, and we have this one called the mom that's like tons of vegetables on it. That'll take like 25 minutes. Sometimes.
And at what temp?
575.
Close to 6.
Yeah.
575 to 6,
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on how busy you all are.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're always set there.
Yeah.
Right, right under 600.
And you're doing gas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Montagues.
Yes.
You like it?
Love it.
Yeah.
Honestly, love it.
Great.
Didn't know I got it blind. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say you got it
awesome.
blind, is it because it came with a shop? Or
No, we just kind of like were oven shopping and found it. It was there for a deal and could not pass it up.
Where did you find it?
Surface.
Yeah.
Surface.
Shout out Surface.
Shout out Surface.
Is that like a distributor store?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know how to explain it.
It's
but
like also open to the public, and they have a little cafe in it. Yeah. So
Next time you
You get your ovens and your coffee.
Yeah,
for real?
Yes. So we were on our way to go to another store to look for ovens, and we stopped at Surface.
For coffee.
Just
more so for coffee than we were just like, let's just see.
And then we walked around and we were like, no, like they're definitely not going to have an oven. And I was like, I'm just going to ask. And I did, and I got a really good deal on it.
So we love
and yeah, it just really worked out. That was extremely lucky for us.
Aside from taking chances and risks on places that are unsuspecting, what is your best tip for someone buying an oven?
Whew.
Look into like refurbished.
Yeah, totally.
100%.
Especially with these old gas ovens.
Those
Yeah.
things will last forever, right?
They will
Yeah.
last forever. So they're the same with like your mixers. Like if you're not going to get like a fancy one, like if you're good with just a big regular old school mixer, like don't get a new Hobart. Like I had one in my last shop that was like from like the 40s. It was the same thing. So that would be the tip. Yeah.
Things were made differently back then, though. You think? Because I
Yeah.
feel like I always see.
It was like built to like make it through the war.
Okay. I'm maybe those models, but I feel like I see a lot of used, and I don't know personally. Like, what the fuck do I know about Hobarts? But like, I always see them for sale, and they always look kind of questionable.
Oh, people beat the shit out of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, if you find somebody if like a bakery that took care of it for the last like 50 years, there's like plenty of those ones out there
Yeah.
too, and they are like tanks.
There's also a refurbishing guy that we love.
In LA?
Yeah, it's Origin. And they refurbish a bunch of like old equipment. I mean, I'm not shopping for a new mixer anytime soon, but he gives these things the coolest paint jobs. They're hot pink, like bright red, and they look brand new. And they're like these like big ass Hobart mixers. And that's, I don't know, that's the way to do it. Like, if you're trying to save some money,
Who is
doing
it?
all of that. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, don't get an investor, just really be scrappy.
Yeah,
like, make it work.
I mean, we're recording a podcast in a car.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I
know a thing or
respect
two
it.
about scrappiness.
Exactly.
But yeah, 600 about. About 600 degrees.
That's what I mean.
I was
You know,
like,
you
oh,
get
yeah.
a good deal, and it's 600 about. So you do what you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get back to the main question. Yeah.
Okay.
The oven's about 600 degrees.
Cool. Thank you for that. And that's a great tip for people who are looking to start. Just one or two more questions about the dough before we go talk about the shop itself now. And that is, when it comes to 575 gram dough ball, what's the hydration for that?
It is about 70-ish.
On the,
percent.
like, would you say low 70s, mid 70s, high 70s?
Low 70s.
Low 70s. Cool. Okay. Yeah.
I think, right.
We
The
calculated it. Oh,
yeah,
like,
most recently, because we
recently.
tweaked the recipe a little bit, but like I think it's like 72%.
Okay. Do you ever wish like par-baked doughs tasted better so that you could kind of like streamline? Because I imagine that's a pretty big bottleneck to do like a 20, 25 minute bake.
It is.
Kind of.
People are not happy about it sometimes. That's for sure.
But we crank them out.
Yeah.
I think we do it surprisingly fast.
For what we're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting a big boy. Like, those, it takes time.
It does.
Yeah.
Right.
575 grams, 10 inches, 25 minutes. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it's worth the wait, right?
I'd like to think so.
I hope so. Thank you.
Cool. It looks pretty.
Thanks.
I will say that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so Little Dynamite. We're talking to the owners, and they came from a spot called Bootleg Pizza. And what gives? Tell us the story about that.
Well, shit.
That's a Kyle thing. Yeah.
That's a Kyle thing?
Yeah, that's a Kyle.
Tell me what you want to say, Kyle.
Yeah.
It was bootleg, and then it wasn't.
What can people learn from your story there?
Be careful, which I've said this, elsewhere. But yeah, just be careful who you're dealing with.
It wasn't the landlord?
Not the landlord. No.
Okay, for some reason I thought you got booted, not
Pun
kicked out.
intended.
You know what I'm saying? From your space, but it wasn't that.
No, well,
Little
I
bit.
mean, like in like the personal sense, I kind of did. But
Oh, I see.
yeah, no, but it wasn't the landlord. Just a, investor, I guess you could say, partner. But
To talk around it, we're happy we don't have any investors.
yeah,
That's tight.
yeah.
That is.
Basically, it was the transition out of having a partner and into doing it independently.
Yeah.
From Bootleg to Little Dynamite, that is.
What were the highs of Bootleg?
Oh, shit. Just, like, getting to do pizza for a living.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were you doing before?
A lot of bullshit. I made hash and stuff like that.
Do you still make hash?
No, I just smoke hash.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right. And so you're making hash, random ass jobs, and then you thought one day you'd make pizza?
Yeah, well, yeah. I grew up in New Jersey in, like, very pizza-heavy region. So I just always really liked it.
Of course.
Like, I would, like, go to pizza shops and just, like, watch the dudes and be like, these guys, they're fucking
They
cool.
fuck.
Yeah, they fuck. Those dudes, they truly do fuck. And you get it. But, yeah, I was just like, I think I'm going to do that. Like, that seems cool. And I kind of just always had pizza jobs, like, high school and onward. And then, yeah, wasn't really doing much. The hash thing stopped because, like, I had, like, a medical license to do it, and they kind of went away, or it became real hard to get, and then I just was doing nothing, so I started screwing around, really, with pizza, kind of, like, seeing if it would work, and I got lucky.
So you went from making it at home to pop-up to brick and mortar in a matter of what?
Quick.
Yeah.
I was making it at home. I posted it on Instagram, and this guy that worked for Eater at the time, like, discovered it, and I wasn't really doing anything, so I, like, kind of, like, threw it all together, started doing a pop-up. That went for a couple months, got a truck. That ran for, like, a year and a half, got the shop. That did what it did. Closed for, like, a year and a half, and then we opened Little Dynamite.
Talk to me about the in-between of Bootleg and I think I heard about this on Alex's podcast, but you were sort of just waiting for the opportunity, right?
Basically, I went back to doing pop-ups, like, breweries and stuff like that, like Rockbox type pop-ups. Then we went ultimately that got old. We went back to the original place where I first started, which was like this kitchen on Fairfax that was like a soul food restaurant during the day, and we would
Take over at night.
yeah for a couple days. Yeah, that's what I did on the in between. I was just looking. Obviously, I didn't want to do a partner anymore, or was gonna do a partner, but it was gonna be like, you know, someone more my size. And yeah, we just looked at just everything, tons and tons of places, until I eventually found this spot.
Were you part of the pop-up?
Yeah, the pop-up, yes. That's like where I started in with
Got your feet
Bootleg.
wet.
Yeah, so it was kind of nice because it was just Kyle already. So, you know,
Basically, the two of you running it.
yeah, basically. And yeah, extra
But,
hands,
yeah.
but
Pretty much just the two
yeah.
of us.
Okay.
But yeah, the intention was to not to be closed for a year and a half. That's just the shitty way it worked out.
That's just how it happened.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
you were you're patient though, and I feel like that's
Yeah.
that's fucking hard.
Yeah, but you know,
But you knew
what else could I do, really?
Was it when you found this opportunity? Was it because it was a sweet deal? It was a perfect
Yes.
place. All of the above.
Yeah, mostly sweet deal. Like when I found it, it was a perfect deal, and the landlord was super cool.
Yes.
And was basically like, upon meeting him, I had this broker, and we were basically like, so can we do it? Like, can we have it? Which was our thing, like, you know, at like 100 other places, and they would be like, oh, we'll see. Like, I don't, you know, like submit this paperwork, blah, blah, blah. But this dude was he was like, yeah.
That's it.
It was basically that simple. And then,
Yeah.
and you know, a couple days later we signed the lease. So the location is cool. It's worked out amazingly, but, you know, that really, we weren't looking over here.
Yeah.
I just happened to, like, the broker hit me up. Actually, I told him to look over here because I thought this might be here, and it was, and it all worked out.
When you're working with the broker, are you signing an agreement saying you're my broker, look for me, and then do they get paid for finding you a spot? Is that how it works?
Close.
I guess. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, I don't even 100% understand how that all works. But yeah, he was my exclusive broker. I didn't pay him.
Maybe
But
he gets a cut.
He gets a cut.
exactly.
But to be
From the cell?
property owner,
Yeah.
yeah.
but to be totally honest, like, I don't even understand how it works.
And is it I'm just a randomly scratching an itch? So I'm on Biz Buy Sell and LoopNet, pretty much Googling shit, right?
Right,
To see
yeah.
what's available. Did you do that too?
LoopNet.
All the time.
All the
Every
time.
day.
Every day.
We
But
send each
ultimately-
other LoopNet postings every day.
Ultimately, though, like, those aren't the ones. Like, this,
Yeah.
I don't think was on there.
Oh.
And like this, we're looking at places now that are not. on
So
there.
people aren't listing their shit for whatever reason they have, right?
Yeah, it's just like they, you know, want to get out or whatever.
Gotcha. And then
Old people that have never even heard of LoopNet. There's a lot of those.
Yes.
I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, with people aging out of their business, they're
Exactly.
just I just want to put a sign on my door and
Exactly.
find my next buyer.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get the hunch that it was around here?
Honestly, just driving around, and I knew that this place had been kind of weird. It was like opening and closing a new thing like every couple months. So I was just like, yo, Carlo, like, check out this place over in Mar Vista. Like, see if you can figure anything out. And he did. Really that
Congrats.
simple.
It is simple. Yeah, but like you said.
But not really, because it took a year and a
took a
half for
year.
that to happen.
That's-
But then when it
that's-
happened, it was just like, hey, check this out. Oh,
And then days later, you got it.
yeah.
And then it was time to hit the pavement.
Then, yeah.
Then
Oh.
it's like.
Was
you
it
just-
pizzeria before?
Sort of, yes.
Yes, it was a ghost kitchen.
Oh.
And there was 4 pizzerias working out of it.
Oh.
But it being a... Go ahead.
Yeah, it just it came empty with just a hood and a sink.
Yeah. So
So
it being a pizzeria didn't
Yeah.
really matter.
They
We re-pizza redid it.
Yeah.
so the owner sold the equipment and then
I'm assuming so, or
Probab-
they brought it somewhere else.
Or it was leased or whatever.
Yeah.
It just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
It was a broken hood and a sink when we got it.
does it cost a lot of money to fix a broken hood?
Yeah.
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 Is it cheaper to fix it or cheaper to repair?
Oh, way cheaper to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll get a good electrician out of it that you can call for anything. So it's kind of, you know, it gets you that contact real early at least. So you know who to call when everything else goes wrong.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things pizza makers spend the most money on is cheese. Every time I have a catering event, cheese is my biggest ingredient cost. But what if I told you there's a cheese company out there that lets you earn cash back for every pound of cheese purchased? I'm talking about Baccio Cheese. And their Gold Club Rewards members receive their rewards card every month that can be used wherever Visa is accepted. So the more cheese you buy, the more you can earn. Literally, you get paid to use Baccio Cheese. Now that is cool. Learn more at Baccio Cheese using the link in the show notes. Let's talk about pan pizzas for a quick second. What are you using to press out your dough? I found out that whatever fat you use greatly affects the flavor of your pizza. And that is why the only brand I trust with my pizza is Corto Olive Oil. Taste is everything, and other brands and other fats pale in comparison. Do you want to taste the difference? Go to corto-olive.com using the link in the show notes. You can purchase a bottle there, or if you're an operator, you can get a free tasting. Just message me and I'll connect you with them. I'll leave my contact in the show notes. Thank you, Corto Olive Oil, for sponsoring the podcast.
And so you said you hit the ground running. Tell me more about those first few days.
Oh my gosh. Kind of, once the lease was signed, it was, all right, now we got to make it a pizza shop.
Can you give me a date of when it was signed? Ish.
That's
Like-
David right there.
Oh shit, LL Caesars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing a
bud.
podcast.
Hey, perfect.
What's
Let's
up? You
do
want to
it
join?
with you. Let's do it right now.
Is that
I'll jump in.
Apollo?
Yeah, let me hijack it.
Slide.
Wait, hold on. Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
We can share.
As the HR director.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is
And spiritual
this is
guru.
one of our best friends, David.
What's up?
Yeah, well, we met at Expo.
Expo.
Yeah. Pleasure.
See you again.
Cheers.
Yeah.
How are we?
Here.
Yeah.
I can just project it.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's make this hard for everybody.
Oh, yeah. All right, so we're just talking about like hitting the ground running. David,
Yeah.
were you there?
So no, I wasn't there. No, but I guess my introduction to Little Dynamite and Bootleg and everything kind of involved was in 2021 when shit was going down, and I reached out as a simple meme page, as one does, and simply said, hey, what can we do in the community to support you? What can we going on? And that was met with a response of just a simple shaka emoji sign from Little Dynamite in the DMs.
For the record, I was extremely suspicious, and I'm not particularly friendly.
Right. So it was great. And then I kept messaging and kept.
Hard to believe. Hash story. Like most hash smokers are like,
Oh, he's a scary guy.
As you can tell, very terrifying individual. And specifically, I came on in and I said, what can we do? What's going on? And then the formation of this store right over here on Washington started happening. And I think the cool thing was, a lot of people in the community, especially people who live on the West Side, got together and said, hey, let's make this happen. Let's blow this up and let's make sure that you are the best pizza joint in not only Mar Vista, but all of the West Side and kind of everywhere. And so we, it's really showcasing that it's happening right now. And I think it's amazing. And it's really adding to the general pizza culture all over the city. And so I think this is just a testament to the people we have around you and, the ability that shows that if you're ever worried about sliding into somebody's DMs, do it.
That's come up earlier in this episode.
It's absolutely do it. If you're ever worried,
Do it.
Slide in somebody's DMs and make sure that you're doing the right thing by doing it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we have
Should
to
have
do
seen
it.
that speech yesterday.
Oh, as the which one at
The
the
salad speech.
Oh, the salad speech? Yeah, the salad speech was pretty good. The other speech was pretty phenomenal that existed also there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We just got back from the Pizza City Fest that existed out there and at LA Live. As you can see, we literally have a Apollonia slice
I saw.
right here, ready to go, that I was literally just going to bring to Kenny and be like, hey.
Oh, he's going to love it.
Yeah.
They've got some pizzeria say in there right now.
Oh, so he's got that too? Who dropped it off?
This guy.
Oh, you were just over at Pizzeria Say? Let's break the fourth wall right now and talk about the actual person going on right now. Flip the camera around so you can actually look at him. Here he is. Yeah, here's as this is going on. We're not going to this is actually going to turn into an interviewer of the interviewer. So this is the move, and this is what we have to specifically do. And I think that we'll be set. So this is perfect.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, cheers, y'all. This is an absolute pleasure. You're working late.
Yeah.
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 We're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, we don't smell like the shop.
No, you need to smell like the shop in order to make this
We'll
happen.
be in there soon.
Yeah, good. All right, well, I'll just hang in there in the back as the official HR for Little Dynamite
Yes,
Pizza
absolutely.
Incorporated. We're going to make this happen. We're going to make this right. We're going to make sure everyone's on payroll. We're going to make sure that everybody is clocked out in the right hours. And
Taking that 10-minute break.
yeah, specifically.
Smoke break.
Yeah, smoke break, and making sure that all of the dough packets are ready for samples. That's going to be good. We're handing them out. We're handing them out to the children of Mar Vista later.
You know,
I was like, I broke. I completely broke.
So excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah. We're handing out little party favors to everybody. It's Kids Get Your Dough Day here at Little Dynamite every Sunday after church, and this is what's going to happen. So, yeah. That was all. It's like,
I
it's
love
sweaty
it.
now. Yeah, there
It's
we go.
okay. I'm a sweaty person.
This is
It's
good.
okay.
So you just record this podcast in your car, and you
Oh,
just...
here, I can do that.
it's a new thing that we're trying out. And it kind of works.
It was going great till you got
It was
here.
really great, and then I just
Yeah,
completely...
we were nailing it.
Yeah, good.
The hard thing is it's a little distracting. We can see everyone passing by, but other than that,
Well, it was just really funny because I literally parked my car and then I look back and see you all in here. And normally when I see 3 people cramped in a car in Los
No
Angeles,
blunt.
it's not a podcast. It's
well, we were gonna spark the
podcast.
blunt
Yeah.
later, but you know,
Yeah, you were gonna, and then the cops rolled up, and this is what's happening.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, pull out the podcast camera.
Yeah.
We're just doing a podcast.
Yeah, some narc in a Volvo just shows up ready to go. It's fine. Yeah, well, cheers. Enjoy, guys. And everybody like and subscribe to the podcast and make sure that you're listening, and you can find it on all major streaming services available. And be with God. That's all. Yeah. Cheers.
I'll see you in a second, David.
oh god, that was perfect.
Oh man.
I will say
That's our main man.
that's your main man. I
Yeah.
will say that was so cool. And what I was gonna say is that this LA pizza scene that is developing, I'm pretty fucking jealous of, because like it's like I want pizza homies, you know,
Yeah.
like that. And I think it's possible in the Bay Area. I think we just need to get together. Somebody just has to start it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need a David.
You need a David up there.
know.
It's all him.
He
Yeah?
really has like made LA a community
That's so
of
cool.
pizza.
Yeah.
It's
He's definitely the glue that brings it all together.
yeah.
Well, he's such a personable person.
Oh my god,
if
I
that's
love
not a
him.
bad word.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a perfect human.
Oh.
Love that guy.
Well, if you want, David, if you want to come to the Bay Area and help get things going.
Oh shit, now
Yeah.
you said it.
No, don't
Genie's
take him
out of
from
the
us.
bottle.
Yeah. I'm like, you can't take him from us.
He'll come up
He's
there.
our little bud.
Oh man, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
The first few days of
His
Oh
first few
yeah, the
days,
first few
yes.
days. Thank you.
Good memory.
What was it like?
Scary and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And for Kyle, I feel like he'd been looking for, I was working and he was like looking at places every day. So when
it was a relief in a way.
yes, yeah, it was.
But also I was like, okay, here we
yeah,
go.
here we go. Here's the big time. Like, it's just us. If this fails, it's
We
just
really
us.
just kind of, went for it though.
Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing, like, so much of the time. Like, I felt like complete imposter syndrome. I still do. We talk about it at home, but because once you sign that lease, like, my brain is like a to-do list. So all of the things that we had to get done to fill up the shop and make it,
Yeah.
operate.
Honestly, couldn't even really, like, we kind of went into
Scary.
like autopilot
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
It's all just kind of a blur. Like, we just made it happen.
Every single day. Like,
Yeah.
there was a new issue. Like, I guess a good example is all of our equipment getting delivered via freight.
Where'd it get dropped off at?
The front door and the back door, and there's 2 of us, and there's a 3-door fridge, and all of these things that
You can't really go through those
No.
No.
So
because I went through there.
So we had to hire some guys to help us bring it in.
shit.
And then
You had
it
to
wouldn't
kind of break
fit.
the door frame.
It wouldn't fit through the front. So I'm a solutions person. I took a hammer to the door frame in the back because that's not like a appearance thing for us. And we fit the fridge in because I broke the door frame. But
Do you like ask for forgiveness from your landlord at that point, or do you?
it's not really that noticeable.
Sorry, beg for forgiveness.
You know, he's such a cool guy. I
Yeah.
don't think it's an older building too. It
This
just
was there when you got there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's just one
We
of
didn't
those
do it.
things where I
He'll
was
never
like,
see this.
well, I'm gonna pay you rent, so
Sorry to him.
yeah,
In case you do.
yeah.
Shit.
You gotta
It's
be
fine.
able to like,
It was more decorative than anything.
yeah, you gotta be able to just solve problems really quick
Yeah.
on your feet, and yeah, that's really a lot of it.
Yeah. It was, and just staying focused. Yeah.
The goal was to get it in through the door.
Oh, the fridge. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the goal, yeah, like that.
Get everything in there.
Get everything in there.
But me, I would be like, it's either me. It's like if it was me and my wife,
Mm-hmm.
right? It like one of us would be panicking because it's like we're breaking a door. And
I was
like,
probably panicking.
He's
Okay.
he's the panicker.
okay, I'm glad it was not like an unusual thing to feel.
No, yeah. I'm much more of a like Kyle has to like reel me in a lot because I'm very like, okay, well I'm just gonna do it and fix it. Like, which is great a lot of the time. But there are some times where it's nice to have someone more reasonable be like, hey, maybe, you know, we should do it a different way. And that's where we balance each other out, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were saying just stay focused.
Yeah. I was more talking about, in the grand sense.
Yeah.
But also when you got to shove a fridge through the
A door.
Yeah.
Did it help having like opened a spot before, or was it like a completely new
Oh,
territory?
it totally helped. Like I didn't know a lot, but I knew like a little. So it definitely helped. I knew at least like a lot of the marks we had to hit and boxes we had to check, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were those marks and boxes that you had to hit?
Mostly, like permitting things and stuff like that, I didn't, going into it the first time when I had the bootleg shop, I didn't know anything at all. Like I had a truck and that was, way different. So I really went into that blind and kind of, I had other people involved then. So like they kind of had control of what was going on, but luckily I watched enough to like pick things up and then applied it here. Just kind of like did the things I watched them do. So I gained that. That helped.
Yeah, I mean that's not easy though. What you're doing, and starting two new businesses within a span of 2 years, they're not exactly the same. It's not copy one apply to the other. It's copy paste. It's not. So I commend you all for that.
Thank you.
What other tips do you have for someone opening up a brand new restaurant?
Go ahead.
Please.
Know where you're gonna put your equipment.
Oh, that's really a good
So,
one.
I'm a graphic design school dropout, and I would use my Adobe Illustrator to make like to scale,
Oh.
layouts
That really
and
massively
whatnot.
helped.
And
Smart.
so when we bought all of the equipment, we knew exactly where we were gonna put it.
Taking measurements and kind of scaling it onto a piece of paper.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
okay,
just
cool.
I had our floor plan done.
You can do that on Canva too.
Yeah,
For people who don't have
any,
Adobe.
Yeah,
right?
Canva. Oh my god, I love Canva now.
Yeah,
like I
okay.
wish I knew about it in design school.
Cool.
But yeah, that has been.
It's a great tip.
Yeah, that was
Never heard that
extreme.
before.
Oh, and be very nice to your local health inspector. That saved us probably $30K. I
Yeah.
think.
Whoa.
So
How? Tell me more.
basically, what had happened was, the
So-
business.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You can go.
So you get 90 days when a place closes to like basically like keep the permit active.
Right.
And I'll let you take it from here because you are better at telling the story.
Oh.
I was just going to interject that part.
Oh, okay. So, the previous business had been gone longer than 90 days. And so that was obviously like $30,000 is a big chunk of money. And
Sorry. Would you have to get new permits at
Right.
that point?
yes,
Okay,
yes. So, I had looked at a business card that was left. So a health inspector had like come by and left their card because they wanted to come in and inspect like the previous business
To keep the permit active.
to keep the
Right.
permit active. And so I called this lady, her name's Ani, and she is an absolute gem.
Yeah.
And I called her, explained our situation. You know, we were like, hey, like we didn't even see the business card. Like we're
Yeah.
trying to, you know, open this space up. And I got her to keep the permit active.
Hey, what'd you say?
And honestly, like always admitting it's the first time you're doing something is
Just be really
just
nice.
just be nice, and also be like, I don't know what I'm doing, like guide me. Like, and it works pretty damn well.
Yeah.
Like if you're willing to just not have an ego about it, like
yeah,
a
that's
lot of
great
people are
tip.
gonna help, you know.
Yeah.
If you're not trying to just be like, I got it, which is easy for me to do. I'm a very like I'll do everything myself person. But dropping the ego and asking for help is probably the best lesson I've learned.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got design, be nice to your health inspector. Any other ones that are notably?
Getting to open a spot, find a spot you can afford. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a huge win,
Yeah.
right? Because like,
They're hard to find.
They're hard
but,
to
like,
find.
Worth it.
Just wait it out
Yeah.
because
there's no use rushing into it.
no, because it works out so much smoother when you have a place that's affordable to run.
Affordable is very subjective.
Yes.
Give me what you were looking for in terms of like numbers, or like what helped you make the calculations? What helped you make the math?
What helped me make the calculations is I paid more. This sounds crazy, but it's true. I paid more to lease a food truck than I paid to rent. Than I paid to rent this place.
You paid more to lease a food truck than
Yeah.
Right. So, and the food truck worked. I lived off of it. So, when I found this place, I was like, well, obviously this works.
Wait, but then are there no other costs associated? Like,
I mean, of course there are,
But
those were included in that I had to pay those things in a food truck too, on top of a bunch of other bullshit.
Gotcha.
So when I found, I had a lens to look at it through, being like, okay, well, I covered all my stuff when I had this truck, and that cost X amount.
When you say costs are, you said own a truck, rent a truck? I can't
Rent
a truck. So you're renting a truck, basically like a lease, and so that cost versus this cost, this is cheaper.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So yeah, that was kind of my way of knowing, like, all right, this is the price range, and almost nothing is in that price range.
Right.
But I knew like I'd be much less likely to fail if I found that spot, and
I mean, you were running a food truck with how many people?
really just me and one other guy for the most part.
So 2 people. So even
Yeah.
if you staffed this up with 2 people, kept the volume the same, rents were lower,
Right.
you'd be golden.
Right. Well, we do way more, obviously,
Yeah.
than a truck.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, it's nice to know at the end of the day, like me and him can run an entire shop by ourselves. You know, not
sure.
that
Don't have to, but we
Don't
can.
have to,
to.
but like that's like if the world wiped out
Yes.
having employees or whatever.
Right.
You'll
Not going anywhere.
Right. Huh. That's fucking dope. That helps people sleep at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you recommend for people who just can't sit on their hands like you did? Not saying you didn't do shit, but I'm saying like super itchy.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, honestly. Pop up as much as you can, I guess.
Right. Distract yourself from other shit with other shit.
Yeah, just keep, I don't know.
Stay persistent.
You have to just wait it out.
Probably bank that money that you're making from the pop-ups for your brick and mortar,
Or try to get a loan or something. I mean, there's other ways to do it.
There are.
without
But,
an
you know.
investor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Or find a good partner.
Yeah.
yeah.
They do exist, but
What should people not look for in a partner?
oh shit. Honestly, bad vibes.
Yeah.
Because like if they're there, that's a thing. Like
You can smell it.
you can feel it. You can definitely feel it. Like if something feels wrong, it's wrong.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trust your gut.
If you're like, this is a little weird, it's probably a little weird, or more than a little weird, and you're
You guys are still in this car with me, so I guess it wasn't that weird.
No,
No,
not at all.
your vibes are they're all right.
The car is a little sketch, but you know,
It
we're
works.
still here. Okay. So vibes, just vibe check the person.
Yeah.
Be like careful for the randoms that come into your shop or to your pop-up being like, oh, I'll pay, like I'll open you a shop, whatever.
Oh.
We still get that, like
Still?
to this day, people will be
Much
like, oh,
less, but yeah.
yeah, people still come in.
Like, what are they? They're promising the world, but
They're like, when are we going to open our second location? Like random, really intrusive, odd, like
I could see that with a pop up.
it happens at a
It keeps happening.
It's weird.
Yeah, don't fall for that.
Yeah, don't fall for that. That's my tip, is just literally do it yourself.
They'll say, "I'll help you open up your pop up, but you have to PayPal my prince of an uncle."
Yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle.
Whatever country.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll take 80% of your profits. Like don't get yourself in something that you can't like dig yourself out of.
Great.
Yeah.
Great business advice all around. I have this one question that I ask all my guests. There's no right or wrong answer. Final question for you all. What's good, Doe?
Sourdough.
So, yeah, I'm like, I can't
Naturally
say anything.
leavened
Yeah.
pan pizza dough.
Pan pizza
is good dough.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
sourdough.
Thank you both for being on the show. I really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
Thank you.
having us.
Let's get one of these.
Well, there you have it, my conversation with Kyle and Courtney of Little Dynamite Pizza. Thank you both for being on. You two are such a beautiful inspiration, and I wish you all the success. It sounds like you all are getting ready to get that second spot open, and I'm sure you all just will take however long it takes to get there, because that's your style, and I totally appreciate you both for sharing that with us. To you, the listener, come on. Reach out to Little Dynamite, reach out to LOL Caesars, and let them know what's good dough. Thank them for being on the show. Thank them for the inspiration, and thank yourself for listening. Do me this one quick favor. If you enjoy the show, you could do 3 things to let me know. Share the show on Spotify. That would totally help. Leave a rating or review, or if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Interestingly enough, I think that helps. That's what they say. I appreciate you. I love you. Till next time. Peace. Do you want a chance to win a $250 Ooni gift card? Well, this is how you do it. Within the next 3 months, if you purchase something from Ooni.com using my affiliate link, send me your receipt. Each receipt that you send me, whether it's yours or a friend's or a neighbor's, will give you 1 entry into a raffle that will be giving away a $250 Ooni gift card. That's all you have to do. All right, happy buying and best of luck. And thank you for supporting me and my show sponsors.